All right, I'm gonna lead you in a stretch, and I just wanna remind you that in your stretching, it's super, super important that you just breathe. Every inhale is going to open up space. Every exhale, you're gonna be breathing out to things that you don't wanna carry with you. So breathing is a huge part of stretching, so make sure you're breathing, listen to your body. When we stretch, you only wanna go on about a 7. If 1 was no feeling at all and 10 was really excruciating, make sure you're holding your stretches to about a 7. That's about it, and let's go ahead and get started. So finding your way to your edge of your mat, I always like to just roll out my wrists, roll out my ankles to get started. Maybe do a couple big shoulder rolls. Keeping your breath nice and steady in through your nose, out through your mouth. Good, take a big inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Maybe lifting up on your toes, a little arch in your back. Swan dive all the way over. Place your hands on the ground and you're gonna soften your knees all the way down. Big inhale, then exhale, extend through the back of your legs. Just hanging out here, finding some space in your hips, space in your low back. And again, bend your knees, maybe glance out ahead, and then extend behind your knees. Taking any movement in your stretch that you want, that feels good. Slowly roll it on up, and we're gonna do that again. Big inhale up overhead. Hanging out here for just a second, try to get a little bit more arch in your back, should feel good. Stretching your ankles, big inhale, exhale, forward fold, all the way over. You can even flip your hands over on the back of your hands and get a little bit of a wrist stretch. Good, and then flip your palms over, bending your knees, glance out ahead, and then extend a nice big exhale here. And go ahead and walk your hands out. You're gonna start to feel this in the back of your legs a little bit more. Moving into your down dog position. So in down dog, you wanna press into your hands, press your heels. Try to drop your chest to the ground. You should have a slight bend in your elbows. I like to rock my hips out a little bit. If you wanna walk your dog, lift and lower, up on your toes, pressing your heels down. Always taking some nice deep breaths. Let's go ahead and take 2 more deep breaths here. Finding a little bit more space. If you want to bend your knees, sometimes that feels good. Last breath. On your next inhale, jump or step your right foot forward. Go ahead and just hold here in a lunge. You'll notice I do a lot of movement in my stretching. I love to keep my body moving, but we do want to hold these positions. Always breathing nice and deeply through. Adding a rotation up, reaching up high to the ceiling. Try to extend through your fingertips and in the back of your heels. Lunges are so good to open up through the front of your hip. And drop that elbow down. Try to get it to the inside of your foot. Hold here for a second. If that's too much, you can just hold both arms on the ground. Otherwise, trying to deepen that stretch. 1 more deep breath. Good, and then walk your back foot in a little bit, plant both of your feet, and you're actually gonna lift the toe of your front foot, sitting your hips back. You'll get a little bit of a deeper hamstring stretch here. Nice big inhale. Holding your balance. Good, plant both of your feet back down, come back down into your lunge, this time dropping your back knee. Come up onto the top of your knee as long as you don't have any knee injuries. If you need to set something under your knee, you can do that for a little bit more cushion. So sit your hips forward, squeezing in your glutes, and just rest your hands on your knee. Chest is nice and tall. Another big inhale, exhaling it out. On your next inhale, reach your arms up. Sit your hips back, and then exhale. Try to deepen into your stretch a little bit. Hold here. Starting to add a twist. Your hands are gonna clasp together, the bottoms of them together. One elbow goes behind your knee and you're just pressing a little bit of a twist through the top of your spine. Might get a crack in your back. You're still feeling the stretch in your hip, the front of your hip. Exhaling, and if you feel the tension, one more deep breath here. Good, then plant your hands. We're gonna drop a little bit lower into your lunge and let your front knee fall out to the side. So you'll start to feel that stretch in your hip just a little bit more, keeping your chest tall and proud. Just moving your body in a way that feels good. Try not to judge your movement. And then sit your hips back, pull your front toes up all the way back. You should feel the stretch in the back of your front knee. Pull them up nice and tight. Last breath here. Good, coming on all to fours. We'll meet in the center, child's pose. Sit your hips back, feet are together, knees are wide. Reach your arms nice and long. We're gonna take 3 big breaths here, then we'll switch on the other side. Good, press up into your downward facing dog, just like we did, pressing your heels. Let's take 2 big breaths here, and then we'll start your lunge on the other side. Good, stepping your opposite foot forward, reach here in your lunge. Nice big inhale, reaching from the top of your head, pressing your heel back. Planting one hand, rotating up, really reaching through the top of your hand. Feeling that stretch in your hip flexor right here. Big inhale. Long reach through your fingertips, and pressing through your heel. Tailbone is long. And then reach that same arm down, elbow down to the ground again. If that's too much, just plant your hands. Otherwise, you're reaching, trying to deepen your stretch just a little bit. Another deep breath here. Good, planting your hand. This time, drop your knee. Actually, come back up. We're gonna sit back, little hamstring stretch. So drop your bottom foot, pull your front toes up. You may need to bend your back leg to get a little bit deeper into that. One more big inhale here. Good, drop your back toes, come back into your lunge, and now we can drop it down. Hang out here for just a second, getting a little bit deeper into the front of your hip. Good, pressing up, you can just rest your hands, sit your hips back, work into your lunge a little bit more. Your hands can just rest on the front of your knee, sitting into the stretch right here, feeling that stretch in the front of your hip flexors. On your next inhale, big reach up overhead. And exhale, a little bit deeper in the stretch. 2 more breaths here. Good, clasping the bottom of your hands together, press into your hands. Your elbow is on the outside of your knee, adding the twist. You should feel that in your spine. Your hip is still stretching. Good, plant your hands back down. We let your outside knee fall away. You may be a little bit tight in your hip here, and that's okay. Just let it go until it feels good. Really breathing and creating that space for yourself here in this stretch. Last breath. Good, and then sit back, pull your front toes up. Hamstring stretch. You may feel this in your calves as well. Good, drop that foot down again, meeting in child's pose. Bottom of your feet together, knees are nice and wide. Reach your arms forward. Rock up in your body. You're gonna walk your hands over off to the side of your mat. For me, it's my left side. You should feel this in the back of your side ribs over on the opposite side. Nice deep breaths here. Come back in through center, big inhale. And exhale, walk your hands to the other way. Leaning into that stretch, feel it in your ribs. Back into center. Big inhale, exhale. Come on up onto all fours. Hands are planted right underneath your shoulders. Your hips are stacked above your knees. You're gonna exhale, curl in, a little bit of a stretch for your spine. Exhale here when your face is up, and then inhale when you're pulling your body in. Good. Just go with your own pace here. Feeling a little bit of a stretch through your upper back when you round, and squeezing, stretching the front of your abs when your hips come up. Good, let's do about 3 more. Nice job. All right, so go ahead and lay all the way back onto your mat. You're gonna need a band, a little bit of rope. If you don't have one like this, you can use a sweatshirt, something you have around you, maybe some stretchy leggings. Go ahead and lay all the way back. Have your band right close by you. And we're gonna go starting with knee hugs. So your knee comes all the way into your chest. Start to take some easy circles. So you're working into that crease of your hip. Your spine is pressed into your mat, head is nice and long. This should feel really good if you've been sitting all day, just kind of loosening up your hips. Go ahead and hug it in a little bit more out to the side. Start to roll your ankle a little bit. Good. Take the opposite hand, grab it to the top of your knee, and you're gonna twist, dropping that leg over to the side, reaching away from you with the opposite arm. Feeling a little stretch in your lower back, hold here. Good, if that's too much, you can always lift your leg up a little bit more, but if you want to deepen the stretch, you drop it all the way to the ground. Good, hug your knee back into your chest. Go ahead, grab your bands. For this stretch, it's gonna be right in between the ball of your foot and the bottom, reaching all the way up. You may need to get a little bit more tension on your band, and you're just gonna let your foot hang here. Still pressing away on the bottom leg, keeping this activated. You'll feel that in the back of your legs, also in your hamstring and your calves. Pulling the toes more towards your shin is gonna increase that stretch. Just make sure you're breathing. This one can tend to be a deep stretch. Two more deep breaths here. Pull your toes back just one more little inch. Last breath. Good. Pass both of the bands into your opposite hand. And again, you're gonna turn your toes down, pointing them down to the ground to let your hip drop open. Reach away from you with the opposite arm and just breathe. Good, bring that knee up, back through center, big inhale here. Exhale, pull your toes back, and then pass the band to your other arm, reaching long. You're gonna feel this in the inside of your leg this time. Let your leg fall. If it goes all the way to the ground, great. If it's up here still, that's great as well. Try not to drudge your movements, just letting this movement be what it is, and exhale through, creating that space for yourself. Opening up change, opening up awesome new things, and then exhaling out anything you don't want to take with you. Last breath here. Good, come back up through center. Go ahead and release your band. Pull your knee into your chest one more time, rock it out. Go ahead and meet it with the other side. You can just take some easy rocks here. Maybe rolling all the way up, rolling out your spine. Couple of easy rocks here, little massage. Good, and then shifting side to side, rolling out your spine. Should be feeling pretty good. I know I'm definitely needing this today. Every day is a little bit different. Good, and hug both of your knees in. And then go ahead, let's switch to the other side. Extending one, starting again with those easy hip circles. Make sure you're nice and extended, top of your head down to the bottom of your feet, always creating as much space as you can, not being afraid to take up space. Good, drop your knee a little bit more out to the side, start to roll your ankle, opening up through your hip, inner thigh. Good, come back through center. Opposite hand rests on the top of your knee, pulling your knee open, reaching long with that opposite hand. Keeping your gaze up to the ceiling. Letting that stretch in your lower spine just feel good. Exhale into it. Good, next inhale, hug your knee back in. Good, all right, grab your bands. Let's go ahead and stretch it on up. Again, right in the center of your foot is perfectly fine. Go ahead and extend it on up. Get as much tension as you need and just relax. Sometimes 90 degrees is enough of a stretch. Good, just exhaling through. If you can go back further, remember to find about a 7. If a 10 was super intense, keeping this nice and a little bit uncomfortable, but still doable. Pulling your toes back, reaching long, creating space in the back of your knee. One more deep breath here. Toes roll back. Good, and pass both of those bands into one side, crossing over your body, reaching long. Toes are gonna point down just a little bit, keeping your leg extended. You should feel this in your IT band, your hip to your knee. If you've been running or jumping, sometimes we can feel a lot of tension in our knee, even our hip, and the stretch is super, super good for it. Last deep breath here. Good, and then pass the band to the other side, open up. You might even feel that stretch in the bottom leg, front of your hip, that's okay. Good, next inhale, bring it back through center. One more deep breath here. And go ahead and lose your band. Bring both of your knees into your chest again, give it a nice hug. Good, okay, roll it on up. This time we're gonna find a runner's lunge position. So one leg is gonna be in the back. And again, we're just sitting our hips down. Reach both of your hands down to the ground, and then I want you to reach away from you. You're gonna bring your hand to the top of your foot. If this is too intense for you, just hold this stretch here and lift up your foot as much as you can. If you can add that reach around, that's gonna help you get into your quad and your hip flexor a little bit more. So holding here, if you wanna increase the intensity of this exercise, you can bring your chest up, meet your foot with both of your hands. Just make sure you're trying to drop your hips as far as you can. Again, if that's too much, leave one arm down and just working into this stretch wherever it feels comfortable. Sometimes using your band for this can also be helpful. If you want to use this way, you can wrap it around the bottom of your foot. I prefer not to use it, but if you want, that's also an option. Holding here, let's take 2 more deep breaths. Good, dropping that down. Extend both of your legs, point both of your toes forward and just flatten the both of your feet, dropping your head down to your toes. Little hamstring stretch here. Good, turning back through center. Open up nice and wide. Start to just shift your hips side to side. Bring your palms to the insides of both your elbows and just let your head kind of ragdoll over. Good. Planting your hands down again, extend, open up through the top of your spine, lifting your chest. It might still feel good to rock through your hips a little bit. And then one more deep exhale, drop your chest. Good, walk your hands to the back of your mat, reaching through a little bit more. Let's take 2 here. And walk your hands all the way in. Go ahead and pivot to the other side. Both of your toes are gonna face forward. Both feet are planted, trying to drop in. If this is too much for you, you can have your hands up on your knees. Otherwise, reaching down as far as you can. Exhale into the stretch. Good, go ahead and drop one knee down, starting to work towards the stretch for your quad on the other side. Go ahead, drop your knees down, plant both of your hands on the inside, then go ahead and reach back. Leaving that one leg down, hold here for 2 breaths. Squeeze your glutes, drop your hips. Last breath here. Good, and go ahead, come up, trying to meet it. You may feel a little bit of a difference on both sides. Stretching both quad and your hip here. Your eyes might want to be down for balance, but if it feels good, opening up through your chest as well. Good, and plant one hand down, go ahead and easily rock out of that. Straighten up your legs again, let's come back through center and just kind of shake all of that out. Whew, relax through your upper body. Good, slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Bring your heels and toes together just a little bit more, and then sit them nice and wide. When it feels comfortable, dropping down right here, pressing your elbows into your legs. We're just gonna hold here, opening up through your hips, through your inside of your hips. As women, we tend to hold a lot of tension in our hips, so stretches like this are so good for you. If it feels good to come in a little bit closer and press your hands in, that's also an option. I do like to have mine a little bit wider. I have pretty tight hips, so I gotta work on this one. Exhale it through. Good. Drop your hands down. Come on up again. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Good. Let's go ahead, have a seat. We're gonna stretch your upper body a little bit. So first of all, have one leg on top of the other so we get a little bit of a hip stretch while we're doing this. Plant your hands in the back of you and just open up through your chest. So hold there and just breathe. If you want to see me from the side, I have both of my hands planted, just squeezing back. I'm pressing away from this. If that's too much, you can just clasp your hands together. All we're doing here is opening up through your chest. Good. Go ahead, switch legs. I'm going to turn and face you again. Switch legs. We'll take 3 more deep breaths, this time with the opposite leg on top. Reach your arms back, press into your palms, 3 breaths. Good, reaching up, big inhale, palms come up over your head. Exhale, one arm across your chest. Roll your shoulders away from your ears, holding here. Good, nice deep breaths. Always creating more space, extending through your limbs, sitting up nice and tall. Even though we're stretching and it can be relaxing, you still want to be activated in your muscles. You never want to get sloppy and lazy in your stretches. Last breath. Good, okay, let's switch both arms and legs. Opposite leg on top, opposite arm comes across. Again, sitting up nice and tall, should feel so good. Stretching is so good to get blood flowing. And when we say exhaling through and getting rid of things you don't want to hold on to, your blood flow has so much to do with that. So the oxygen, your blood flow staying activated through your muscles is all helping you kind of just release maybe some stored up tension, maybe some sort of energy that you have. Good, and let's go ahead and just relax your legs this time. You don't have to have one on top of the other. Reach your palms up, and then drop one arm back, tricep stretch. Grabbing the top of your elbow, adding a light little bit of resistance here, opening up through your spine. Nice job, one more breath. Good, drop that down, switch. So my palm is flat on my back, and you're adding that resistance so you feel it in the back of your arm. You also are gonna feel it in your shoulder. Hopefully not too much tension for your neck. Sitting up nice and tall. One more deep breath here. Good, and then bring the bottoms of your feet together. And you're just gonna reach down, clasp your hands, pull your chest over. So you're feeling this in your hip, and you might also feel it in your upper spine. It's okay to kind of pull over a little bit. You wanna stay pretty extended, but you might in this position feel a stretch through your upper spine, and that's okay. Good, relax your hands, reach them out in front this time. Big inhale, exhale. One more big inhale here. Little bit further, walk your hands. Just let your head drop. So good, okay, last one, we'll go face down, getting close to the end here. Just rock out your hips a little bit. You wanna bring your arms into a T, make sure you've got enough space. One leg is gonna come up and over the side of your face, rest on the mat. You're just gonna let your leg drop over. So you wanna be reaching away, one arm reaches away from the opposite toe. It's okay if your toe doesn't touch the ground, you're just trying to feel a little bit of a stretch through the front of your hip and in your lower spine. One more deep breath. Good, slowly release on out of that, and we'll switch sides. Big inhale in, exhale, drop on the side of your cheek. Good, drop on out of that. Reach both of your arms out in front. Big inhale. Exhale, bring your arms to the side of you, trying to grab the tops of your feet. If this is enough of a stretch in the front of your hips, again, just hold here and breathe. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, press the bottom of or your feet into your hands, lifting up your chest, lifting your thighs off the ground. Really getting a little bit of an extension, not only in the front of your body, but squeezing the back side of your body as well. One more deep breath here. And slowly release on out of that. Good. Just let your legs drop, planting your hands right by your side. Pressing up onto your forearms, lifting through the top of your chest. I like to have my toes curled under, get a little bit of a hip stretch. Last stretch we're doing here for your upper spine. It's so good to keep your spine flexible. There's a saying that says you're only as young as your spine is flexible, and I love that. I really try to work on flexibility of my spine, keep it healthy, keep it strong. Good, big inhale here. Exhale, drop. We're gonna go a little bit deeper with that. Hands are at the side of you, pressing into your hands. You can flatten your feet on the mat, going up as far as you can without adding too much tension. Keep your core muscles engaged. Press into the mat, lifting up nice and strong. Big inhale. Last exhale. Let it all go. Good. And press into your hands. Sit your hips back. Resting here in child's pose. We'll take 3 last big inhales and exhales together. And And that will be it for your stretch. Going at your own pace. Thanking your body for all it can do for you. Showing yourself grace and patience. Bringing your best self to the people around you. Honoring your best self with every single movement, every choice you make. Coming on up. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for stretching with me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're getting lots of great strategies and just tools to take with you. So make sure you're always coming back to this video anytime you feel like you need a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a stretch, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.